Hello again, everyone. Hope you are well on this Sunday afternoon. Hope you are having a good and peaceful weekend. I'm going to talk about why we should keep our doors locked at all times, no matter where you are. And this might sound oversimplified at first when I say it like that, and you're going to be like, well, of course I know this already, but I'll go a little deeper into it. And I'll explain why and some tips along with that. But first, I have a terrific passage I will share with you towards the end of the video. I will share that towards the end, so stay tuned. It's a good one. Also, I have a couple of little points I'm going to make about our observations yesterday going out and about. The main thing, well, first though, before I even get to that, I saw something a while ago, disturbing, but another flash flood warning has been issued again for Kerr County, Texas. Central part of Texas that has been hit so hard, that had that tragic devastation just recently. Over 100 lives lost. I know, I don't even know the count now. But again, it's like they've been hit again and again. We were watching this a while ago, a report on it, and they had like the radar up there. And typically when you see that, the systems come in and they cover, a region from another region, like from the Gulf or whatever. But this was like, and I'm no meteorologist, I get it, but another flash flood warning for today. They're saying people really need to be careful and, to look out. I mean, extreme warning. And on the radar, it just shows, it's not like it's coming from another region of the country or the Gulf or something like that. It's like it just sprung up right there, right over them, and it's just staying right. It's just like stationary, it's looked like. So what is that? What is going on? It's a rhetorical question, I guess, in a way. What's going on there? Really, at this point, really? You don't see? But anyway, it's a shame. It's really, it's tragic. And, it makes me wonder, there's something there thereafter. So anyway, I'm going to move on. I'm not going to go too deep into that. The last time I did a video on that, y'all, seriously, I had to turn off comments. It was so bad. It was so bad. You guys are fine. I mean, you're my regulars. Y'all are great. But that particular video, it was like a week ago. It got a lot more views than usual. When that happens, I guess the algorithm or whatever gets thrown out to people who don't normally watch me or know me or never seen a video from me. And I guess they just saw the title and was like, I'm going to go in here, throw a bomb and walk out. And they did. And that comes with the territory. I get it. But it was so much that it's like, okay, I didn't, I just turned the comments off on it. But anyway, I rarely do that. Doesn't happen often. Anyway, moving on. Grocery store. We went to a large chain store. Not one of the largest, but we didn't go to one of the common ones like your Kroger, your Publix, your Wal-Mart. We went to one that's more regional, local, kind of rural area, because we like to do that every now and then. Because what we've noticed several things. A trend, not just yesterday. Number one, well, I'll continue at this point, mainly because your Krogers, even your Publix, they've really shifted. They've gone to not just higher prices, of course, they all have, but those stores in particular, the really popular ones, to your grab and go stuff. It's almost like a large convenience store. It's like stuff that's, your boxed, the middle aisles, as they say, are very packed. And that's where it's really, they put a lot of their marketing and their money into, is these boxed stuff, the ultra processed stuff, the quick stuff. the quick meals, the easy stuff. It's terrible for you. Or in this, if it's not in moderation, it's terrible for you. So we wanted to go to a place where we could find more stuff like you cook with, or you prepare more ingredients, things to make meals out of that are somewhat reasonable price, and have more to choose from, like frozen vegetables or just common ingredients even. Another one is like apple juice. Not that we drink a lot of apple juice, but we use it different ways. But the natural kind, the natural that doesn't have as much sugar in it, no added sugar, and we don't gulp it. I know it's got sugar in it, but the natural kind is different. It's different. You won't find it in a Kroger typically, or even a Publix. I tried to find it at Publix. I couldn't find it, even Wal-Mart. But we can find it at this place, and But anyway, that's why we went there, and we loaded up pretty good for. I thought it was going to be more when we checked out. I was expecting way more of a price, and it was lower than I expected, which was good. But also notice that no matter where we go, no matter what store we go to, the carts are not nearly as full. They're not even half full. I know part of that is a lot of people just go in and grab a couple things and whatever, but you typically spend more money doing that. But you remember the days, it wasn't that long ago, where you could see more full carts to the point to where you almost had to grab a second one. And back in those days, it wasn't uncommon to see two carts. You still see it every now and then, not nearly as often. But the carts, almost every cart that I saw was just not even, didn't seem like even a quarter. It's not like even the bottom wasn't even all covered. You know what I mean? I think that's very telling. And it's a lot of junk. It's a lot of junk. Hey, I have to work on things too. Potato chips is my man, y'all. If I could cut them out, if I could cut that out, I've been doing pretty good. Mrs. Dog and I both good with the sodas and all that. We've cut way down on that stuff, way down. But if I could cut the chips, man, my gosh, I'd be fine. I mean, I'm not bad now anyway, but still, I mean, I try to regulate it, But hey, we all have a vice, don't we? Anyway, all in moderation, I think. But that's something we noticed at the store yesterday, or in different stores. It doesn't matter where you go. All right, hitting the big one. Keep your doors locked always. And it may sound just like common sense, but I've been hearing stories, I see videos and news stories about how people are where just people randomly walk into somebody's house and bad things can happen. I won't go into the details, and a lot of it happens just this time of the day, the middle of the afternoon, in a suburb or anywhere that seems safe, that is safe. Gated neighborhoods, it doesn't matter. As far as your home, especially, keep your doors locked at all times, even when you're there, even in the middle of the day. You just never know, especially if you're alone. Ladies. But anyway, no matter what, I'll always keep ours locked. When we're there in the middle of a Sunday afternoon, you don't know who's around the corner. You just don't. It may sound really obvious. Garage doors, if you have a garage or garage door, try to keep that closed at all times too. They don't have any business knowing what you have in there or accessing that. It can happen so fast. So fast. So home, automobile, no matter what location you're in, and back to the home, no matter where you live either. Well, dog, I live in a really nice neighborhood. Everybody's nice. That's really cool and all, but I would still keep your doors locked. It doesn't matter. Well, I live out in the country. Nobody's around here. Yeah, they are. They're out there. And they're looking for an easy target. Even a locked door is enough. They want an easy in and out. If they see your door, if your door is locked, they'll just move to the next one. That's easy. They'll find one that's open. They'll find one that's unlocked. Be a more difficult target. If you have get a sign or sticker that says you have a security system. Even if you don't have a security system, have signs out there that say you do have one. If you can have cameras and all set up, even if the camera's batteries aren't working or the camera don't work, and it worked in years. If you have one sitting up there, it can be a deterrent. Fences, gates can be a deterrent. Layers, obstacles, barriers always work too. They want an easy target. Day or night, doesn't matter. Not just at night. In the vehicle, doors locked, all times. Especially if you parked, you're idling, like I am right now. I have the doors locked. This vehicle, I'm in the RAV because I'm going to gas it up for Mrs. Dog. But especially in a car like this, you have super visibility. I mean, it's so easy to look all around me. I have very small blind spots here. But especially if you have one of those vehicles with all the 360 camera, that's awesome. You don't have to have that though, but it's a nice thing to have. But having your doors locked, I know in my work, we drive agency vehicles. We don't drive our personal vehicles, but it's like we reminded ourselves all the time, keep it locked. I've actually had somebody, not in my vehicle, but in my work vehicle. Sometimes we're not in the best parts of town, right? I was at a stop sign, or a red light, and somebody tried to open the back door of the back seat door. Luckily, I had it locked, and they just moved on. They just wanted, he probably just figured, hey, can you take me somewhere? They see what kind of car we're driving. I don't know. I guess, who knows? It might have been more nefarious. It probably was. But so little things like that, especially if you get in your vehicle, and I see people idling. I see people in their vehicle and all kinds of parking lots, the gas stations that have no idea who's around them. Their heads are buried in the phone, and I hope they have their doors locked. But if they don't, they would be such an easy target. So easy. I see people at the gas station put the pump, get out, start the pump, and pumping the gas to where it doesn't. You click it to where it's gonna start pumping, and they walk back and get back in their vehicle and not looking around. The door's open. Oh man, I cringe. But so gas stations big time too. But I see people and just sitting there. So just be aware of what's going on around you, even in your vehicle. Lighting too. Back to the home. If you have lighting or security lighting or the motion sensors are great too. 10-second rule. I've talked about this before. Just to review. You go somewhere in your vehicle, or just, whichever. You pull up somewhere, you're going to a store, wherever you're going. Take at least 10 seconds to just do a quick scan around before you get out of your vehicle, before you unlock it and get out of your vehicle. If you see something that's a little edgy, that's a little, that your gut is kind of poking you a little bit, like, I don't know about this. Give it a little minute, give it a time, give it a minute. Maybe that it might just be a perceived threat, but that's maybe your gut's telling you something until it's more clear, and then you get out and go. Get out and go in the store or whatever you're going. Parking decks. Oh my gosh, I won't even go there right now. But dang, be careful with that. But the 10-second rule: do a quick scan. We've had times, Ms. Dog and I have had times when especially these big shopping places, the outlet malls, these big areas, where there's a lot of parking, a lot of people walking around, man. A lot of them, be careful with that. Just look and trust your gut. Be alert. In the stores, again, if somebody's walking around without a cart and they don't even have a basket, they have no basket and no cart, I'm automatically a little suspicious of that. And they're not an employee, and they're just kind of walking around. Now, they could be security in plain clothes. It's got to be one of them. Now, rarely I may walk in a store without a cart, without a basket, because I may just be in one or two things, but it's rare. It's very rare. So if I see somebody without a basket, without a cart, and they're just walking around, and they just keep walking around, especially if they're walking near you a lot, then you need to be very careful with that. Make eye contact and look right at them. That way they know you noticed them. You ain't got to be confrontational. Just, let them know, And if you if your gut's really getting into you about it, go to the store, go to an employee and let them know you don't feel safe. If you have to, call the cops. All right, if it's obvious, if it's that obvious. Anyway, those are some tips. And also to look out if you're being followed. The parking lot of a store is something you got to really be careful of as well. If somebody's following you out from the store to your vehicle, be careful of that too. Those are the big things. Take a partner with you if you can. Take a partner with you, and try not to just go it all alone. You got an extra pair of eyes with you. That's good to have as well. I think those are the main points I really wanted to get across on that. And I'm going to go to a passage. I'm going to read more of Psalm 37. I read first part of it yesterday. I'm going to start with verse 7, Psalm 37. Be still before the Lord and wait patiently for him. Do not fret when men succeed in their ways, when they carry out their wicked schemes. Refrain from anger and turn from wrath. Do not fret. It leads only to evil, for evil men will be cut off. For those who hope in the Lord will inherit the land. A little while and the wicked will be no more. Though you look for them, they will not be found. But the meek will inherit the land and enjoy great peace. Amen. From Psalm 37. That's a good one. That also, that last verse kind of reminds me too of that verse, I can't remember exactly one, in the Beatitudes, the Sermon on the Mount, where it says the meek will inherit, the meek will inherit the kingdom, I believe. I can't remember, but he talks about the meek there as well. Anyway, be safe out there. Let's keep alert. Let's keep preparing. Let's keep preparing. In this economy, we're still, and it's just not the last 6 months. We've been dealing with, the last years, ever since 2020, with inflation and all the, and stagflation, really, recession. I think it's a silent depression that we have been in. I believe that crime is going to continue to go up, especially as people get desperate. And so they're looking for easy opportunities. Just be alert and be safe. All right. Anyway, share your thoughts. Stay close to Jesus. God bless y'all. See you soon.